From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to OpenLine. I am Ben Hall. Good show tonight. We have a new mayor, of course, in Nashville, a new administration, and a big to-do list for that administration. A lot of new faces, a lot of new people coming into important roles. And tonight we're going to talk to one of the heads of a new department, the Mayor's Office of Neighborhoods and Community Engagement. Happy to have with us Lonnell Matthews. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thanks for being here.
I appreciate the opportunity.
So this is just a chance for us to get to know what the office is all about, what your priorities are, what you hope to accomplish. But you haven't even officially started yet, right? You're the incoming.
I haven't officially started. I was appointed about 3 weeks ago, and my official start date is next Thursday, November 12th. Next
Thursday, November 12th. So when we hear Office of Neighborhoods and Community Engagement, what does that mean?
So we are the office within the administration that first takes on constituent services. So most of the calls or emails that go into the mayor's office with issues that are happening within the community, our office will field those calls and will also work on solutions for those constituents. In addition to that, we've added the title of community engagement to the office because we want to build a deeper relationship with the neighborhoods, with organized community groups, and really be a convening office to bring all parts or stakeholders to the table when we're addressing issues to work on solutions together.
So yeah, it does have a new name. It used to be the Mayor's Office of Neighborhoods. Now you have added that community engagement.
Yes. Yes.
Are there more people as a result of that in the office?
We're bringing in an extra person. We'll probably have about 3.5 staff, 3 full-time and 1 part-time staff working out of the office. But there's not more staff. We really just want to deepen the relationship between the mayor's office and what's happening in our communities and neighborhoods. And being that Mayor Berry served on the Metro Council for 8 years, she really understands the need to collaborate more with council members and the Metro Council also on a deeper level. So she wants our office to kind of lead some of that work as we work through issues.
You served on the council with
yes.
Mayor Berry.
Yes, sir.
And you ran, right? You ran for council at large?
I did run for council at large.
And so what else is some of your background? How did you get to this point? This is a big appointment. How did you get to this point?
Well, my experience on the council probably best prepared me for this position. Being able to work with constituents, being able to work with neighborhood groups, being able to organize neighborhood groups and bring neighbors together to really work on solutions for issues that their neighborhoods are facing. In my 8 years on the Metro Council has really prepared me to be able to work with neighborhoods on a county-wide level and in a full-time capacity to really be able to focus on this all day, every day in what I do for employment is going to really be beneficial. Also, on my term at council, I was able to chair Parks and Recreation. I was able to chair Budget and Finance. So I understand what resources are available within the government too for assisting neighborhoods and communities, and want to make those resources available, want to make the communities more aware and educate them on what resources are out there, and be able to bring tangible results to a community that is growing at a rapid pace and experience some growing pains within that.
One of the things I'm sure you heard, you ran for council at large. That's a seat that would represent the entire county.
Yes. Lots
of focus downtown. There's some areas that feel like they're not getting as much attention outside of downtown. Is there something your office can do to help, I guess, turn some of those thoughts around, or to help alleviate some of those concerns? Or what, when you were running, did you hear, and now that you have this position, what can be done?
Well, I want to take a three-pronged approach. First, we want to listen and make sure that constituents and communities within the Nashville area feel like they have a voice in their government. We want to empower communities, so we want to make sure that they understand what resources are available, and we make those resources available to them. So if a community's having trouble with stormwater, we want to make sure that they have a connection to water services. They know how to get in touch with water services services, and they understand the resources that water services can make available to those communities. Same thing with sidewalks and other issues, public works, codes department, the planning department. We want to make sure that that constituents and communities feel like the government is working for them. And the third part is we really want to be able to collaborate. So both with council members, with community groups, with the Chamber of Commerce, with the business community. We don't want it to just be focused on neighborhoods and residential areas. We want to look at the communities holistically and make sure that as we're going into communities and we're addressing issues, that we're addressing it in a way that everyone that has stake in that community feels satisfied with the solution.
And what did you notice? I mean, I guess I threw out one about there's concern on the part of people outside of the inner core. Are they getting the attention? But what do you find to be some of the bigger issues that you will face and the next mayor will face when it comes to neighborhood issues?
So a lot of the calls, and I have talked to some of the staff that are already working in the office, a lot of the calls that we're receiving center around social services and making sure that social services are available, especially in communities that have a higher level of poverty. A lot of calls center around stormwater issues that are still ailing some communities, and where stormwater issues haven't been addressed with the new stormwater fees that the last council put in place. And a lot of calls are, as we approach winter, we're starting to hear a lot more calls about public works issues. So fixing potholes, sidewalks, making sure communities are pedestrian friendly and accessible are some of the things that we're starting to hear.
So you have a pothole. Yeah, early on. So you have a pothole and you're really sick and tired of it. Are you, like, is your office who you call? Do you call your office?
Well, you could call us if you don't know how to call Public Works directly.
Right,
I mean, you could call Public Works directly, and of course, Public Works has always been responsive in the past, and I think they'll continue to be. However, if you just don't know who to call, you could call the mayor's office, and we're going to walk you through that process. We're going to follow up with you, and we'll actually make contact with Public Works, follow up with you, and let you know and communicate what solution we're going to be able to work out for whatever issue is brought to our attention.
So how big a deal is stormwater?
Stormwater is a huge deal in some areas, especially if you have small tributaries around Whites Creek or Mill Creek, around some of those tributaries that are feeding into the Cumberland River. It could be a huge deal, and so it's probably a larger issue in the springtime when we're having the most amount of rain throughout the year. But just a couple of weeks ago, when we had a weekend of rain, almost 2 or 3 days in a row, we started getting a lot of stormwater calls at that time. And so we know that we still have stormwater issues that we have to address. Metro Water Services, of course, has a long backlog of issues that have been raised to them, and we just have to strategically and systematically figure out how to best address those to make sure that people or communities don't feel like they're being left out. That we do care about them as a government. We do want to provide services and resources to them, and we want to give all of our citizens in Nashville the best quality of life. So,
has that been happening, do you feel like? I mean, are there communities that do feel left out? And can you change that, or is that not an issue that you've seen?
I think there are communities that feel like they haven't been treated equitable. They haven't received what other communities, or the attention that other communities have received, they haven't received it. And I think that's one thing that Mayor Berry's committed to changing. And like you said, the inner downtown core has received a lot of attention, and the media's covered it, and everyone knows about it, everyone reads about it. And if you drive through Nashville, you see it. I mean, you see cranes going up everywhere, but some of the surrounding communities, Madison, the Donaldsons, the Antiochs, the Belleviews, these communities are in the suburbs, they're outside the core, and they have they have constituents that really deserve just as much attention as we put into downtown. And the issues are different, the needs are different, and they should be approached differently, but the attention should still be there. And that's one thing that my office wants to really commit to paying attention to those issues that communities really face and help communities solve those issues.
As your office, I mean, in one way to get them to face that, is it about maybe organizing? So I mean, they call your office and say, boy, we'd like to see more activity in name a neighbor, Madison or whatever. And you want to help them.
Yes.
But then do you also want to help them help themselves in a sense of organize and here's the way that you can really get it even more stuff? Do you know what I mean?
We do want to help them organize if they're not organized. We're not going to do this in silos. I mean, we want to work with the neighborhood resource centers, or we want to work with other community groups, faith-based organizations. We want to be able to bring everyone to the table to really help communities out that have a stake or interest in any community in Nashville-Davidson County. And we also want to work with the council member in that district. With Mayor Berry being a former council member, myself being a former council member, we understand the role that a council member plays in leadership within each community, but we also understand too that council members have limited resources. They have a 40-member council and they share 5 to 6 staff members, and so they need some assistance with engaging the community. And so we want it to be a very collaborative approach in addressing community needs and issues, and we think that that's the mayor's office working hand in hand with the council people, with the faith-based community, with the business community, with the residential community, to really address problems collectively. All
right, so we're going to take a break. If you want to call in about any thoughts, issues, concerns you have about maybe for the Office of Neighborhoods. That's what we're talking about tonight. There's the number 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.